Hi guys, my name's Elliot Timothy Harlin Bethel, and amongst other things I am a storyteller, a metaphysician and a master faster, and I haven't done a video for ages, especially not a long video where I just ramble on about something. And today I wanted to ramble on and tell you a story about what I see and feel is happening collectively. So I like to look into the etymology of words and the meaning of words and how words can be expressed in different ways just through vibration and frequency, how you can say something with one telephonic or another telephonic and yet the same word will have a different meaning. And if you look at the word government, to govern means to control or to guide, and the word ment or mente in Latin means mind. And from what I've understood and through a lot of the ancient teachings I've read, from the Tablet of Kish to the Emerald Tablets, the numerically, to some of the stuff about the Mayans who predicted that we would have this mass awakening in 2012 and that we were stepping out of an Iron Age, a 25,950 year Iron Age, and stepping into a Golden Age again, where in the Iron Age our vibration, or the vibration of the planet, decreases and we become more separated from our source energy, our God, our prana, our chi, our life force energy, our source, if you will, whatever way you choose to look at it, whatever perception you decide to choose to see that in. And that once we step back into the Golden Age, our connection to our source, so if we're connected to source, we can be sorcerers and create our reality through our connection to our light, our higher self. And we need less and less around us because we become less separated. So we start to see our friends as our family, we start to see our family as ourselves, we start to see separation outside of us disappears, and we become one again. Governments are really shitting their pants at the moment, that more and more people are reconnecting and strengthening this connection to their higher selves. So more fear-mongering is put out, because for each individual that operates from a level of gratitude and unconditional love, it affects up to 750,000 people around that person. Now when you operate from fear or shame or guilt, it is said that our auric field is less than 3 inches away from our body, so it affects fuck all around us. It's like it wouldn't even affect this fly that's flying around here. Whereas when we're in that gratitude and unconditional love, boom, our aura is like, it affects everything around us. You know this, you know that when you walk into a hair salon, when you walk into a shop, your energy walks in before you do. If you're in a good mood, you're going to walk in, everyone's going to be good with you. If you're fucking pissed off, you're going to walk up to the counter and you're going to get shit, and your card's going to get declined. And depending on what mood you're in, when you walk into that room, you're going to draw that towards you. Now, the more and more people that become aware of this, the less the outside influences your reality and the more your inside creates your reality. So a good example that I use is when I was at school, I was like a chameleon, and I felt that although there was a cool group, there's a trendy group, there's a sporty group, there's a musical group, there's the geeky group, I sort of flittered between them all, and like a chameleon I could adapt to any environment, but I never felt like I belonged or had a place anywhere. It was a lonely place, but a very non-lonely place at the same time. And this brought me later on in life to realize that if I was constantly adapting to my outside surroundings, then I was constantly giving my energy to creating something that was outside of me. And that ultimately, if I wanted to create my reality, I had to take all of that energy back from outside of me and take it within, and maybe have a period of time. For me personally, I was lucky enough to have the time to do this, but I did a 7-day fast from food, from water, from TV, from music, from sound, from speaking. In 7 days I only spoke 3 words. And when you take your power away from everything outside of you and you use it all inside of you, you start to see at the end of the week, when you actually speak something, when you say something, when you think something, you start to see how actually this outside of me is just a projection of what I'm thinking and feeling inside. But when I'm thinking 80,000 thoughts per day, when I'm speaking 22,000 words a day, when I'm going to work, when I'm watching TV, when I have all these distractions, when I'm looking at family, when I'm speaking, how the fuck am I going to see that I'm creating my reality? Because how am I supposed to see when one of those 80,000 thoughts is paired with a very powerful emotion? Because I need the thought and I need the energy and motion to put that thought into motion. How am I supposed to see when all this takes place? I've already had 15,000 thoughts. By the time that emotion gets paired with that thought, mind-blowing. This is why media, TV, work, everything's designed to distract you from showing you that you're creating your own reality. But ultimately, there's an easier way to see how you're creating your own reality. If you haven't got time to sit and not speak and not fucking do anything and become a monk for a week, what you Taoists and Buddhists believe we are observers of reality, whereas some people believe we're creators of reality. Now, this is something that really played on my mind since 2017, but what I began to notice the more energy I put into discovering this for myself was that what I observe, I absorb. What I absorb goes into my torus, my energy field, my vortex, law of attraction. So whatever I observe goes into my field, and then my vortex, which does this, if you look at a vortex, what it does, it then draws that back into my field. Now, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett once said, on separate occasions I might add, what is the thing you would tell people is the most important thing to become successful? And they both said on separate occasions, focus. Now, one of these guys right now is taking the piss with this because he's invented, and we all know, we've all seen that there was staged backup things before the coronavirus happened, and we've all seen the photographs of him sitting with his book collection, and it's one of the top books is how to convince people of your lies and things like this. Now, whatever you focus on, you're going to create more of in your reality. Through the whole of the facade or whatever happened over the last years, I'd turn my TV off. I didn't really pay attention to it. I didn't wear a mask once. My reality is completely different to a lot of people's, and now a lot of people around me that experience a different reality to me have decided that if something like that ever did happen for them, they'll definitely just turn it off and not listen to it, because you can create your own reality just through your observations. So choose consciously what you're observing. So I challenge you, if you want to see this for yourself, to do what I did in 2017. I stopped listening to rap music, I stopped listening to rock music, I stopped listening to anything with any negative words, which I then began to see as negative affirmations. So I noticed how if I was listening to The Weeknd, I can't feel my face when I'm with you. 20 rocks a table come from Lebanese, she cleans up with her face. If I'm listening to these songs that have certain codes or certain words or certain affirmations in, and I was putting the emotions into it and even singing it myself, abracadabra, as I speak, therefore I create, I noticed that my reality was, without me even consciously realizing, being affected by the music I was singing because of the powerful emotion I was putting into it when I was singing it. I didn't notice until I took a step back and looked at it from a different perspective that the words I was singing were like codes, and then the emotion I was putting into it was powering it, and I was actually living it. And this is how some people say music today is black magic. I don't watch any TV. I choose very particularly what I watch. I choose very consciously what I watch and what I listen to now. I'm going to put a playlist that I created in 2016, 2017, around that time, into the link below. And it's I think it's 22 songs, and the songs create a story, and I'll put the lyrics on the screen as well. Just watch it once the whole way through, and see what feelings emotions in you, what it brings up. The songs for me were all songs that created a happy environment, a good environment, and that I feel unlocked certain things within my DNA, helped release any blockages that I had at the time. So have a listen to it and then create your own playlist that's similar, that create the same sort of emotions within yourself. You'll get the gist of it when you listen to it. I invite you to do that if you want to. So yeah, there's two ways you can create your own reality: from observing or from going within and cutting off the outside world. But I'd be really interested to see, if you played around to, if you chose to do any of these, what your experiences were with them, because there's a saying or a terminology used in one of the biblical texts which refers to God as Uranus, and I think it's the god of the sky, but in literal form what Uranus means is expansion. Now they also talk about a mustard seed and how when you plant a mustard seed it can grow infinitely into huge things. Uranus, so whatever we focus on expands. Thought forms form. Nothing you see around you started other than any other thing than a thought. Everything began as a thought, and then more focus was given to it and it formed. Thought forms form. So all I'm going to say is Uranus, expand, focus on whatever you want. Pick one thing to focus on. I'm going to do myself over the next 21 days. I have seen this myself so much that now I want to put all these things that I have been talking about and doing into practice and see what happens. So it's going to be 21 to 90 days for me. I'm putting all the things I've been shown over the last 5 years into practice to see what happens. Keep me updated with your journey. I hope you've enjoyed this rambling. There's going to be lots more ramblings like this again soon. Lots of love. Namaste.